Hello, friends. Welcome to another Stamp With Me Tuesday. Tonight, we are going to make a super easy fun fold card that is going to show off your pattern paper. And it's absolutely like both sides of your pattern paper. It is so absolutely amazing. I am super excited to share it with you tonight. If you are here and join me live like Lisa, hello, Lisa, leave me a comment. Let me know if you're planning to stamp along or if you are going to stamp later. And the same thing goes if you are watching the replay. I love to know when you watch the replay if you stamp along or if you just watch and then stamp later. So hello, Jill. Welcome, welcome. I'm so glad y'all are here. If this is your first time visiting me, I am Heidi with Onigo Stamping. I'm going to help you reconnect with your inner artist by using stamps, ink, and paper to make beautiful handmade cards and gifts just like this one. And this card is really fun. I'm excited for tonight. So Jill, you're going to stamp later. Good to know. So if this is your first time here, I hope that you will hit that subscribe button so that you always know when I go live. I am going to make my workspace look just a little bit bigger. There we go. And show you the supplies I am going to use tonight. Lisa, you watch and then you stamp later too. All right. That's good. It's a good way to go. Then you know what you're getting yourself into. Your inner artist is ready, Michelle. I'm so glad. Hello, Debbie and Carrie. Welcome, welcome. All right. So I'm going to use, eventually, we're going to get to it. I'm going to use the Label Me Grateful. This is a brand new stamp set. And I'll show that to you when we get to that point. So I'm going to set that aside. I pulled out some older paper. So this is the Mediterranean Blooms Designer Series paper, and it has been around for a while. It has been around for a while. So I have some on my shelf and I thought, I haven't used that in a while. I am going to pull it out and it's so pretty. It is all of these yellow lemons on this side. And then this paper has all of the blues on the back, which I think is really cool. It definitely has that Mediterranean feel to it. Michelle, you've got your DSP ready. Good. All right. And then I have some cardstock. So I have a piece of cardstock that is 5.5 by 4 1/4. I have a piece of cardstock that is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Let me see. I have a piece of cardstock, and right now I don't remember. We'll measure it. I have a piece of white, and it is 2 1/4 by 4 1/4. And then I have another piece of cardstock. This is Night of Navy, and it is 2 3/8 by 4 3/8. So I'm going to set those aside, and we're going to do some scoring on the pattern paper. So I'm going to pull out my paper trimmer, which when I'm doing just like one-off scoring is usually what I use. If I'm making a bunch of stuff, I do pull out my scoreboard. But this, I'm just going to use my paper trimmer with the scoring blade. And the first score mark I'm going to do is at 1 3/4. So I'm going to just slide this in here. And I'm going to score this at 1 3/4. All right, so we have 1 3/4. I'm going to slide it down to 4 3/4. I'm going to score it again. Right. Then I'm going to open up my extra ruler, which is really nice. This paper trimmer is so nice because it has this extra ruler. Actually, I don't open it unless I have to. Like, I really have to. A lot of times I try to figure out ways I can get around opening it just because it doesn't fit very well on my desk. And usually my desk has got so much stuff on it that I don't have room. But it is really nice because it does go up to 17 inches. So you can score or cut some really big pieces of cardstock on here. All right, now I'm going to go over to 7 3/4, and I'm going to score there. All right, so we have 3 score lines at 1 3/4, 4 3/4, and 7 3/4. All right, 1 3/4, 4 3/4, and 7 3/4. This fold is so easy. We're just going to do this like an accordion fold. So I'm going to start at this farthest fold from me right now, which is the 7 3/4. And I'm going to fold it over. All right. And then I'm going to fold on the middle score line. I'm just going to fold it back. All right. And then on the last score line, I'm folding it forward. And that is all there is to the fun fold part of it. Now we just have to put the rest of the card together. So that's all the folding. I told you, really easy. I'm going to take this. I'm going to adhere it to my piece of 3 7/8 by 5 1/8 inch cardstock. I'm using Daffodil Delight to match this really pretty Mediterranean blooms pattern paper. If I can get the name right. Hello, Ellen. All right, so this is just going to go right on this piece of Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to try to get it centered, which is sometimes easier said than done. There we go. Now, if you wanted to, if you don't want to deal with these little tiny borders, you could make this, I want to say 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches instead. I like the teeny tiny border. All right, so once I have that, I'm just going to flip it over and I'm going to adhere it to my Night of Navy card base. And again, this is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. And we'll just pop that right on here. And the card is starting to come together. All right, so we can see it there. Now, I do have these pieces. These are actually for the inside. I didn't give you any measurements on how to finish the outside because that's really up to you. I'm going to finish this card off, show you what I'm doing. I have like 5 other samples to share with you. I kind of went a little overboard on the samples. So I have my piece of white. This was, I think, 2 1/4 by 4 1/4. And I'm just adhering it to that other piece of Night of Navy. Now, if you want all the measurements and you want to keep them, I will have these up on my blog very soon. I have not finished writing the blog post for this one, but it will be up by tomorrow morning. If you're on my email list, you'll get the project sheet right in your email tomorrow morning. And you have that downloadable project sheet where you can save it and have all those measurements and keep it for later. All right. So then I'm just going to adhere that right on there. There we go. And that makes my card. So now I get to finish the front however I want to finish it. And I'll show you that. Isn't that cool? So, so cool. So this is where I'm going to pull in the new Label Me Grateful bundle. So it's this awesome stamp set. You are so appreciated. You're the best. Thank you. A little kindness makes a big difference. So grateful for that heart of yours. Really, really great sayings. And then it has the dies. And let me show you these dies because it's a little bit different. We have this really great label die, but then there's all these dies that cut out leaves and flowers and different seasonal type things. So that is what I cut. And I pre-cut this today. It was on top of things. So I cut the label out of Night of Navy. And then I have some lemon lolly flowers, which I think look kind of like those lemon flowers. And I have some garden green leaves. Okay. So I'm going to put this together. You're enjoying the tags of thanks. That is a good one. All right. So now I'm going to use one of these. I'm thinking maybe you're the best or you are so appreciated. I haven't mounted these yet. So we'll mount it too. Let me see. Let's see what's going to fit on here nicely. You are so appreciated. Or you're the best. Let's go with you're so appreciated. I like that it's a little bit bigger. So pull that one out. I'm going to show you how I mount my stamps since I haven't mounted this yet. I'm going to grab a clear block that fits. This is just your standard, what is this, D? I always have to double check which the letters are, even though this is the one that you use the most, right? And I'm going to use the sticker. So I'm just going to peel off the sticker. Now, this is not the way that Stampin' Up! Suggests that you do it. This is the way I mount my stamps. I take the sticker off and I stick it right on my clear block. Then I will pull off the backing to my sticker. So now we just have a sticker on our clear block. And then I pull the backing off of my stamp. And I just set that down in front of me. Let's see, it's upside down. And then I can look at it. If I'm looking like straight up and down, I can see where the edges of those stickers line up with the foam. And I just put it on like that. That's how I mount my stamps. All right, let me grab the Night of Navy and a scrap of white. That's the way you do it too, Michelle? Yeah, I found that it just works a lot better for me. I feel like I have more control or something. All right, so I have a scrap of white. This should fit. Yep. And I'm gonna fussy cut this, so I'm not really, it doesn't matter what size my scrap is, or as long as the stamp fits. Oh, perfect. So we're just stamping this in Night of Navy as well. And I'm going to grab my paper snips, which were put away. I couldn't find them. They were put away. All right. I'm going to fussy cut this out. All right. We're just going to cut around this, leaving a little bit of a border, just like bubble letters when you're in middle school, cutting off extra as you go. Sometimes you got to cut that extra off, get it out of the way so you can get in there. So now you could, if you wanted to, you could emboss this with like white on that Night of Navy tag. That would look really pretty. I didn't want to go to that effort. I love the look of embossing, but sometimes it's just too much for me to get the embossing stuff out. Oh dear. Even though it would look really pretty. You should try it that way. Anyway. You add, okay, so you do the same thing with your eyes. You take the biggest block and then you add them to it. Oh, interesting. All right. All right, so here is my sentiment. I'm going to build this up. I have those lemon lolly flowers. I want to try something. I hope this works. So I have the lemon lolly flowers. I'm going to grab a light Daffodil Delight Stampin' Blend. And I just want to add a little color to these. I don't know if this is going to work well. We'll see what it looks like. After I have that, that's a little bit dark. You can see it there. I'm going to come in. It will lighten as it dries too, but I am going to come and go over it with my color lifter just to kind of mush it out some more. We'll see what that looks like. I just it felt like it needed just a little bit more definition to it. So that's what we did. I like that. All right, I'm going to do it on the same one. Now this is really cool. I actually cut 2 pieces of the cardstock at once, which means on one of them, the top one, all of the holes came out, and on the bottom one, the holes are all kind of stuck in there. And I kind of almost like did more just to have them all of the holes in there because I kind of like the holes in it, but I didn't. So I actually want 3 of these. I cut out 4, but I want 3. I always like to use an odd number. So all right, so we're going to come in again with my color lifter right over all of that coloring I did, just to kind of mush it up even more because I want it to stay nice and light. Just a little bit of shading. All right. So there we go. We're going to start just laying this out, figuring out where I want things. So let's see. I kind of want this, I think, over here. Put that in there. We'll give us 3. That'll be good. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm just going to add a little bit of a curl to these flowers. I like die cut shapes, but sometimes, I don't know, they don't have enough definition to them. So I feel like adding a little extra color, curling the edges, it kind of gives it a little bit of something, makes it less flat in appearance. So, all right, I'm going to put these on with some Stampin' Seal. You love the flowers, Lisa? I'm so glad. I'm going to put these on with some Stampin' Seal. Sometimes when things have holes in the middle of them, I find that Stampin' Seal is the best. So I'm just putting a little bit of Stampin' Seal right in the center. That one didn't pull any out. There we go. So we'll add those there, and then I'm going to put one more down here. And then let's add some leaves. And I kind of want to mimic, you see how the lemon leaves are like laying downwards? I kind of want to do that. if I can. And get them in a downward motion. All right, that's gonna be good. I could have put these on first, but I just find it easier to slide them in after the other is down. And I left lots of space, so it should, fingers crossed, it should work. I can always cut those stems off. Like this one's just driving me nuts. We're just gonna cut it a little bit. They don't need to be that long. Here we go. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. All right, let's see. We'll come in here, cut that stem off. Just add another one a little bit in. That'll be great. It'll be great. I wish that these leaves went the other direction, but they don't. I'm gonna add some different leaves too. All right, so there we go. Then I have these little single leaves. I'm going to add these little single leaves in to my cluster. I think there might be two. No, there's just one. There one or two. Like I said, I often, when I'm die cutting, I will put 2 pieces of cardstock down and cut them at once. So I can cut twice as many, but then sometimes I don't want to peel apart. And I'm pretty sure there's 2 here. Yeah, there it is. So sometimes it backfires on me. Let's see this one. That one up there. That'll be great. That'll be great. All right, so this is going to go up here. I made a card similar to this, but I haven't made this exact card. So I'm kind of, you know, playing around with things here. But this is going to go on the front of my card, and then we'll add the "You're So Appreciated." Perfect. So I'm going to adhere this to the front. Now, when you are adhering whatever you're adhering to the front, you of course want to make sure that it only goes on that front layer. So I usually turn mine upside down so I can see where I can put my adhesive. And then flip it back over. Lay it right on there. Just want to make sure we don't glue our card shut. That'd be very, very bad. All right, so we're going to add this. I think I want to add a little bit of linen thread. Now, don't go anywhere because, like I said, I have 5 more sample cards to show you. I went a little over the top. Isn't that, Jill? Isn't that a pretty color combination? Oh, I love the yellows and the blues. So pretty. I don't want my husband hear you say that, though, because the university he went to that I did not go to, that I was not the fan of, their colors are exactly these colors. And so we won't tell him that I love this yellow and blue together. All right. I'm going to pull this in. We'll put that right on there. I just put that on with a little glue dot. And then we're going to add the sentiment with some Stampin' Dimensionals. And then I think we're going to have to put some bling on here too. A little bit of bling. Let's get the full size Stampin' Dimensionals. I think this is big enough for that. And then, so pretty. Let's grab, you know what? I think I know what I want. I think I'm going to use these pretty yellow ones. These are the low profile sparkle bats. And these are new as well. And oh, they're so pretty. They're so pretty. Where's my take your pick tool? The end is looking really smooshy. So I'm going to put out some more putty. If you have this take your pick tool and you are putting out more putty, be careful. It comes out very, very slowly. So just turn it a little bit. And then you just want to wait. Ask me how I know this, because if you turn it in a bunch and you're like, it's not coming out, it's not coming out. Well, now you can see there's a nice amount. If I had kept turning the whole thing, it would be everywhere. So you just turn it a tiny, tiny little bit and then wait. All right, we're going to add some dots in here. Dot down there. Actually, you know what? I'm going to add more dots. I feel like it needs some more. Okay, that was too many dots. Or just wrong placement. I don't know. It's not working for me. Friends, it's not working for me. Do you struggle putting your dots in the right spots? I do. Every time. Every single time. I struggle. And I want 5 of them on here. But I don't know where. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. Too symmetrical. Huh. Just not. I'm not seeing the right. We'll go with that. We'll just go with it. I'm not sure I like it. I'd probably play with this for about 20 more minutes, but there we go. Oh, so then it just opens like that. Oh, and you can see all that pretty paper. I love this. Love it, love it, love it. All right, let me show you my other samples because I have a bunch. Again, with the Painterly Pairs and the Perfectly Paired stamp set for a little thank you card. And I use the Nested Essentials dies to cut out this little rectangle there. Now this twine right here, it is the Petal Pink braided trim. And I just pulled it apart. So I got a couple of the strands and I tied those around it. Isn't that pretty? Oh, so pretty. You can see all those pairs. Ah, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. All right. I also pulled out some other old paper. Now this is the Mixed Florals stamp set. And I pulled out the Perennial Lavender Designer Series paper, which is also an oldie that's still around. And that just, look at that. Oh, you can see inside. And I added the A Little Kindness Makes a Big Difference. These are the same stamp set. This is that Label Me Grateful stamp set as well. Now, if you notice on these flowers, check this out. I wanted these ones to pop out as really white because in the pattern paper, look how that Queen Anne's lace, it pops out as really white. So I did the same thing. I took my light crumb cake and I just colored around the whole thing and left those flowers white so they would really pop. All right, now let's say this is perfect for showing off both sides of your pattern paper, but maybe you don't actually like both sides of your pattern paper. I have another one for you. So this one, I used the Turtley Cute Designer Series paper. Now I like this paper. The thing is, it has all of these turtle patterns on one side, which are okay, but I didn't really want that on my card. So instead, I used the two-tone cardstock. So this is Pool Party two-tone cardstock. And if you can see, let me hold it up. It has a slight shade difference. So even though there's no pattern there, you still get those difference. And I used all the same cardstock for this. So I didn't use 2 colors of cardstock. It's all the same. I just used fronts on some of it and backs on some of it. Now, if you're interested in trying the two-tone cardstock, starting tomorrow for the rest of the week, it's 3 days only, you can get 20% off packs of the two-tone cardstock. So it's a really great time to check it out. Plus, it comes in 12 by 12. So I'm able to do it with this card design because it's 12 by 12, just like the Designer Series paper. And I cut out these scenes and I added those, and then I added some of the Designer Series paper inside. So isn't that fun? So if you don't have a pattern paper that you like both sides, you can do it using a 12 by 12 cardstock, like the two-tone cardstock, which works really, really well. All right. This one, I used the Encircled with Love stamp set. And this is going to be the stamp set that we are using for the August online card class. And I actually cut one of the flowers from the pattern paper. This is the Charming Day Designer Series paper. I cut that out and added it over that sentiment on there. You can see it opens up. Oh, it's so pretty. So there's that one. And then finally, this is the other one that I did with the Mediterranean Blooms Designer Series paper and the same Label Me Grateful stamp set and dies. And you can see this time I did the flowers in white and I added some peach pie pearls to it for the centers instead of adding that color to the center because I couldn't get a color that was quite light enough. It was all too dark. It wasn't working. So, but look at those gorgeous oranges. Look at them in there. Makes you want to have a fruit salad. So isn't that pretty? Actually makes me want to go to like Italy. So there we go. There are a plethora of cards. Now, if you make a card using this fun fold, we want to see it. I'm going to post a picture of a couple of these cards over in my Facebook, on my Facebook page in just a little bit here. And I hope that if you make a card, you will come over there and you will post a picture of your card in the comments so we can all see it, because I think everyone wants to see them. I know I do. I just love seeing like how you can take the same idea and use it with all different papers and stamps and things and get completely different looking cards. So definitely come over and share. All right. Thank you all so much for joining me tonight. I will be back next week. Next week, Tuesday, is not going to be our online card class. Normally, the third Tuesday of the month is the online card class. But with the holiday and it just being kind of early in the month, I moved it out a week. So next week, we are doing a technique. So I hope you will come join me next week, Tuesday, as we do a terrific technique together. I think you're going to love it. So I will see you then. Have a great evening.